In this video, I'm going to show you the passage analysis tool in SwordSearcher. I'm going to open it from the search menu here, Passage Analysis. It opens to Proverbs chapter 15 because that's what I'm viewing over here in the Bible panel. You can see at the top it tells me the scope of analysis, which is Proverbs 15. The canonical verse numbers are the verse numbers in the Bible that are absolute verse numbers. Genesis 1 being verse number 1 and Revelation 22:21 being verse 31,102. And this section shows how many chapters and verses there are in the analyzed passage, in this case just one chapter with 33 verses, how many words there are total, and how many of those words are unique. That means not counting duplicate uses of the words. This tells you about how long it would take to read the passage out loud. This is based on Alexander Scorby's narration of the King James Bible. And down here you have a breakdown of the words. We know there are 544 words, and this tells you the most words in a verse is 21 and gives you a preview of those verses here. And the fewest words in a verse here, which is 12, and again you have a preview of those verses here. I'll show you the complete word list in a minute. Top word shows you the most often used words in the passage. In this case, for example, the most common word is the word Lord. And this preview excludes common English words like the and a. And over here you have a listing of the most unique words. And in this example you could see that the word appeaseth and the words disappointed and stalled only appear in this chapter in the entire Bible. They appear one time in the whole Bible, and that one use is in this chapter. So these are the most unique words in this passage. Now let's go back over here to the complete word list. I'll click it. Here you have a complete word list. I'll change the sorting. This is sorted alphabetically, so you can see a complete list of all of the words in the passage sorted alphabetically. And you can sort it by use count, the most common word being the, used 73 times. Again, this is a complete word list. It does not exclude anything. And then you can also sort it by passage uniqueness. Let's go back. The entry box here lets you type in any verse or passages that you'd like to analyze. And for example, we could change this to just one verse by adding, so that we look here at Proverbs 15:1. And you can see that Proverbs 15 verse 1, this is the global or canonical verse number. It is the 16,809th verse in the Bible. And it has 12 words and would take about 5 seconds to read aloud. Now let's go and look at this menu. This menu has some preset ranges. And let's take a look here at the Pauline epistles. So this will analyze all of the Pauline epistles. That's Romans through Philemon. You could see that's 13 books with 87 chapters total and 2,033 verses total for about 43,000 total words. And it would take about 4 hours and 29 minutes to read them aloud. Now, because we're looking at more than one chapter, we're actually looking at 13 books, there's more information in these breakdowns here. For example, the most chapters in a book, that would be Romans and 1 Corinthians. The fewest chapters in a book, Philemon. Most verses in a book would be 1 Corinthians, and most verses in a chapter, 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And for the words breakdown, you can see the most words in a book, the fewest words in a book, most in a chapter, fewest in a chapter. And when you analyze something like the Pauline epistles, this word list over here gets a lot more interesting. You could see that only Paul uses the word uncircumcision or the word edifying, for example. And I'll show you one more thing. If you want to, you can analyze the entire Bible at once. And that's 31,102 verses. And you could see interesting information about the whole Bible. For example, the fewest verses in a chapter across the whole Bible. That would be Psalm 117. And the fewest words in a verse, that would be John 11:35. Jesus wept, and 1 Thessalonians 5:16, rejoice evermore. And since we're analyzing the entire Bible, there are no unique words to view. And again, you could analyze a different group of verses, such as the New Testament. And this concludes the rundown of the passage analysis tool in SwordSearcher. This function was added in version 7.1. Thank you for taking the time to watch.